So what we normally see, by the way, is, yeah, Casper is going to be putting a little bit of util there. I believe that's the spy camera being placed early on. What we also see is the fact that Riplan, or sorry, rather Hype, is going to be playing the Raze over towards B. Typically, the Raze player is onto A to stop the fast plants coming through with the wall executes. Hype, by the way, a player that we noted is quite the Raze player himself, and he's going to be back on his signature pick now, the one we remember from the closed beta. We'll see what kind of real damage he can do now as he wants to really fight with Riplan one-on-one.
And you might think when you say closed beta that people might think we're talking about Raze with 2 nades, like the super OP model. No, this is, even when it was patched to what it is now, essentially, we saw Hype just be insane. And him versus Replan was a battle I was excited for in week 4 of Valhalla, and I'm damn excited for it here as well. When they last faced each other, this map went 13-11 for Royals. It was so close. And so tensions are going to be high, but 2G4L come in with a little less pressure on their back, and they're coming into the A site with the wall down. That should be a spike plan for free.
It is, and that is going to be the exact kind of wall setup here that we expect for attacking teams. Really, if you're Royals, you have to be thinking it's going to be 5 on A. That is the normal pistol attack for any attacking team online. They're not going to stop the plant. They are going to take down one member. Also put Fake on very critical HP. Can't be healed up because his stage is already dead. Cinder, he's gone. Walling up over now as the rest of the members here. Starting the deep fuse situation. Hype takes down Embo. 3 alive now for this particular post again. Fake is low HP. But they're getting the kills now. Defenders have actually done this.
Well, that was a bit of a nuts finish by Alexi. My God. But it doesn't matter because Royals took the defuse. They managed to get it out. And with 1-0 on the board, they don't care that they got absolutely ruined in the last couple of seconds. Because all that matters is the round win at the end of the day. And really, you lose a little bit of armor. A lot of players will even upgrade to the full armor afterwards, the heavy, instead of taking just light. So in terms of impact, I guess it's just a little bit of extra cash and the old points for Alexi.
Yeah, I think 2G4L are trying to just get their way back onto site to stop that defuse from coming through, but stuck through was Royals, who will now get to enjoy the benefits of working with the anti-eco. They have plenty of guns in hand, plenty of tier 2 weapons, and it's working out well. DPS with the first opening kill on the Cinder. Once more, the stage player goes down first, number kill for 2G4L. No plant so far. DPS goes on for 2. That's enough kills. That's now going to allow the rest of the players. Cape heads over towards Long. Players on towards Hookah and also defensive spawn. They have completely surrounded 2G4L, and it will be another defuse.
It will indeed. Most of the weapons still in play. Royals, I mean, they lose practically nothing. Giving away a defuse is going to be ult points. It's going to be a little bit of money as well, but they get their own ult back for it. With Russ going to be the one to finish it off, they obviously put high value in the Brimstone ultimate, and I can't blame them for it. We've already seen it single-handedly win some rounds. With 2-0 on the board, Royals sit in a very nice economic position. Really, 2G4L needed to find 2 kills to make that a very dangerous position for Royals to play from economically, as you can see, and you'll see in a second after a full investment. Question mark? Oh no, okay, DPS is going to keep the Ghost coming into this round. Fair play. So, especially avoiding taking an extra rifle leaves their money in a very nice position, everybody above 2k. So if they do lose this round, they can get a very convincing buyout after.
It doesn't seem like they have a great shot at winning this round unless they can find some decent opening picks. I'm looking specifically over here for the B site players. Are they going to actually pick on through this flow? That's quite risky. I'll get flashed and punished now. Fake is going to open this site right up. This can is open, baby. We're pouring out the contents, and it surely will be a planet in second. Now DPS, the highlighted player, as you mentioned, he only had the pistol coming on in, and the Ghosts need to do some real magic. He gets a dink on the Cinder for sure, but he had the full armor there, and Cinder will feel back up for Casper. Will try to get the wall bang, but no avail.
I gotta say, when that spike was planted, the little noise it makes, I thought it was a kill for Casper. I was getting very excited, but you know, like you said, it wasn't. No frag for him, unfortunately, with the Ares weapon. I'm a big fan of ever since the changes they made to it. I think they actually managed to do something I thought was relatively impossible, which is make LMGs viable but not overpowered. Like they're either useless or way too OP in any game I've played before, but I do like the Ares. It feels nice. Not when you swing into 3 players, it doesn't as Casper finds out all too quickly. As we mentioned, though, this was a round for Royals where they were not expecting the win necessarily. The majority of the time, they do lose it. They had Bulldogs, and an Ares, a Ghost as well, and a Spectre. So, logically, that's a round you're not going to do a whole bunch of damage in, but they still end up in a position where they've managed to limit 2G4L a little bit. Mind you, it definitely didn't go the way they wanted. Save over one rifle, being the Bulldog, and get their full investment right now to fight.
I think that round could have been a lot better for them if they had maybe played a little bit more conservatively. Again, trying to really go for an aggressive play, walking down C long, or rather B long. There's no C on this map. We're walking down B long was Capers and Russ, and they were handedly punished in that kind of situation. And they'll be playing tandem again over towards B ramps. They'll make the attempt to pink out through and see nobody this time. Shots being fired by Ambo. Surely they hear a little bit of action over towards long, and now this is where you have to really start thinking about how we're going to hold this sort of position. This is an important round coming through for Royals again. They lost the previous one. They bought into this one. They are heavily invested this time around. If they lose, they'll be on eco.
Trouble is definitely brewing for them, but they don't have to be too worried just yet. Losing out one of those weaker buys isn't when the warning signs start to blare. 2G4L have a nice spread out early attack, looking for a little bit of control across the map. It's an interesting position to Lexi. Cypher's obviously got some nasty tricks on how ballistics work. But as you're looking towards the eventual push, it will be the B site that's under threat. Cypher is heavily set up, but really they're playing info. They're hoping that this would be a hit in towards A. Russ has to have some high damage, but they're going to hear him as soon as he goes to walk out. There, they now know he's coming up on the flank. In goes Repline to try and take him down, an easy kill.
That's the problem with trying to make a teleporter play. The teleporter play in this case just means hiding in the teleporter room. This defense is at least going to make some good trades to even numbers out to 3 versus 3. 13 seconds, roughly. We do see a plant. Casper now breaking through the wall. We'll find Embo on the other side. Rewarded. Red Plane still playing towards Hookah. They'll probably find the cross here. If Capers decides to walk across, that's going to be a kill for sure. He's going to be able to hit those shots. Nice wall to be able to save that positioning. Alexi, we've highlighted him before. He needs to start making some moves, and he needs to be that player that can be the unknown, because they don't know where Alexi is. He revealed his position, but does not collect the shots necessary. 2G4L are not going to pick this one up. Royals are able to defend, and Royals are able now to walk on through 3-1, and 2G4L not looking too hot this time.
No, definitely taking some punishment on the attacking side to start things off. That is a nice spot then for Royals to play in. 3-1 up. Money starting to really make a difference to them after this one if they win, as they'll put their opponents down to an eco. But with damage done, I mean, both teams are in a similar economic position. The advantage... Actually, no, it doesn't really sit towards either, because each team has 4 players who are 1 kill or 1 ult sword away from getting their ultimate up. Ooh, the slow followed by the Molotov.
Which is
I'm
why
a
we're
huge fan
fighting
of
for
that.
the orb. Yeah, look at this. Everyone is trying to go for this B-side orb right now. A lot of action there, a lot of util being spammed just for that. You even see the Hunter Spirit being committed by DPS. Gets a tag onto at least one person. Isn't going to be able to do enough damage to confirm any more than that. Even gets pushed away by the Boombot left over by Replan as he was playing over towards short. 2 players on the defense looking over towards B ramps. They have no idea that a potential push is actually going to happen towards the long side, and they're going to be late to the party on that because 3 members holding over towards A. You can see the DPS decide to rotate there. He felt like a push was imminent on towards A, and they have misread the situation for Royals.
There.
When we come up on 40 seconds left as the duel goes down to take Replan out of the round. Now pushing on forward with the smokes in play. 2G4L hungry to trade back their brother. Cape is in there for a triple before he falls. Great stuff. Asinda gets the res and the wall up to block off any spams. At least that's a man advantage now to play with, but they've invested a lot. 2G4L coming in hard for it. Oh, this plant goes down. That could be the end of it, because already you can see there's a Brimstone ultimate there for Embo. 2G4L in the best position. Royals need to move fast with a Brimstone ult online. They know time is against them.
triple re-entry here for Royals. The retake is certainly possible. They have to play up against the orbital strike, like you highlighted there. As 2G4L ended up winning over towards the orb side battle, they'll now win towards this retake and post-plant situation as well. DPS attempting to put the shock down. Certainly not going to work out for him as Cinder picks up 3. And the resurrection useful as well, even though they didn't need it in terms of the 3v3 situation. They kind of just wanted the 2 of them on site. What they do get is the money situation still looking positive for them. Embo gets to walk away with the gun into his hands. And in a situation we get 2 to 3 in the scoreline, and the round's won here, and money matters. Look at this. Most players are looking pretty poor overall. DPS is not even going to have a proper buy. 2 players on the Royal side going to end with 0 cash here. This is a very risky situation on both ends.
I gotta say, Sova, the abilities, the shock dart, I wish they put in some variants on the voice lines that it uses. Shock dart, shock dart. It's very monotonous.
Oh, you don't like Molly? You're not a fan of that one?
Well, see, he doesn't have 2 he can instantly throw out. That's the problem. It's just like one after another. It'd be nice if it was, I don't know, just some sort of difference between them. I'd like that. And also, if we could scrap all of the Phoenix voice lines, that would also be great.
Yeah, I'm actually on board with that as well. Can we just mute Phoenix for a little bit? I'm very annoyed by his voice lines. I'm not a fan. We'll see if Alexi, though, is able to find any sort of purchase over towards Showers. He's not expecting 2 players to push towards him. He can even hear the orb being taken. He's not swinging for it. These 2 anchors over towards A, by the way, are now very aware that the take is coming through, and Casper has managed to successfully spray through that smoke. Awarded with 2, in fact 3. He may have just won this round on his own. He's dropped the spike carrier as well. This is an awful situation for 2G4L, who are about to lose this one with 4 ultimates
exactly where
on the board.
Just gets even worse when they get spotted as well right afterwards. An insult to injury ultimate coming through by Casper, who's now got a 4K. They know exactly where Alexi is waiting for him to take a peek. Alexi grabs that. That's the opportunity now for an ace on the heels up Casper. And a shot lands. An ace for Casper. And 4-2 for Royals. What a way to make it happen.
Yep, he's certainly on the board now. 9-3 the total scoreline. He's rich. He's going to even pass over the operator. He's rich and he's generous. The exact kind of wealthy person you like to see. He's bought down. He's purchased a gun for a player, so he's bought down to 100. Royals are 42, and it hurts to see that 2G4L are going to exit that round where they had invested money. They had invested into equipment and weapons, and they had 4 ultimates, but they got sprayed down. Casper, 2 kills through smoke. The 3rd kill might have been through smoke as well. I'm not entirely sure. I think he was POV, but the rest of it was good. Orbital strike, maybe a little bit too optimistic here from Russ.
Something like a martial out is always interesting to see. My favorite weapon in CS is a scout, so it compares pretty consistently with it. The only problem is in a faster paced game like this, I feel like it doesn't have as much of a home. That said, the no-scope accuracy is fairly decent on it. Not when you get shot in the back of the head, though. It just doesn't matter what the no-scope accuracy is, because you're dead.
I think there's definitely some challenges in this game, especially when you've got characters that can just fly past your face and move all sorts around the map and be above you and behind you in all sorts of crazy ways. It's not an easy gun to use, and we'll find nothing here for 2G4L in that particular round where 2 players, Alexi and Cinder, both had marshals. They'll be repurchasing now into the rifles. It'll be a real gun round now. Everybody's got armor. Everybody's got money, or at least enough money to buy. Still, though, Alexi looking a little bit poor, Embo looking a little bit poor. You expect the Cypher players, by the way, as the ones that are always going to be really hurting for cash because their equipment is very expensive, as we start to see a bit of a split play here over onto B.
Nice deep nade. Sova's in trouble. Has to push all the way forward, but catches fake, bails back, and has support coming through from the Sage just behind him of K-Piz, who looks out towards long right after, up on top of the wall, but runs out of ammo. That's a bit of a mistake. Cinda with the free kill, and they know DPS is still in hookah.
I'm surprised there of why you didn't have a situation where both Replan and Fake just kind of double peek into hookah together, one looking left, one looking right. That would be, to me, I mean, that's probably something you quite commonly see in CS, and don't know why teams are not able to really do that as effectively here. So We're going to see DPS, again, the hookah player there, be in a really tight position to really stop the pushing. He's still got the lineup here. Look, he's in a position where he can see the risk that he played. That's really insane value.
Yeah, that was nuts, just pushing the player out to find the trade at least. But left all alone, I think Embo is going to struggle to find this. The flank is on its way as well. Now 1v3, that's basically impossible. One thing that, well, let's see if he can actually do something here. Would have had to be a 6 spray down. One thing you highlighted there, an issue when those players are pushing in towards hookah, the nade was used on the right side. I think far more efficiently, you can nade left, use your blast packs as well, or combine it with a flash that goes through from your breach, so that you can push through and only worry about the right side. You know if someone's on the left, they're dead, because your nade will either kill them, or your blast packs afterwards will finish them off. And they'll also probably have to make noise if they are there to get away from the nade. So at that point, you swing right, you look above the box. If they're not there, they'd be dead. Then you can clear right. Instead, it goes to the right side to try and get a little bit of damage, but it still leaves you having to clear a 50-50 angle as you push forward.
Is anything going to happen here? Well, certainly something does happen. Russell's instantly down. He had the operator available. This is now going to be Capers trying to save the situation. Showstopper being expended here to take down Fank, and this is what you want to see out of Royals, who are definitely able and willing to use their ultimates. Couldn't really say the same for 2G4L, if I'm going to be honest with this situation. And 2G4L now, 3 members alive. They've at least got the spike under their control. They may even have 2 guns, and that could be all they need this round to get themselves for election. Finds a shot, and now we're into action. Now we're using ultimates, and now I can finally really stop flaming them for that 2G4L are in position to really win this one.
Well, they definitely are. What started out as a bit of a wild round from them, although they managed to take down the op, I thought that would have been pretty much where we ended it, but they've really pulled this one back. Moving to B, you'll see Royals be happy to 2-man hold the A side in this position because they've got all that utility spread out towards the B side. They've got the camera to just watch it. But Cypher can't dedicate all his time towards sitting on that cam. And as they eventually spot them, they know now it's the B side, but it will be a little bit too late by the time they get there. The spike easily being planted. But the Sage and the Cypher, they're not the agents you really want to be 2v4 retaking, even against pistols, because you haven't got the ability to isolate angle by angle. As you push on through, there's no utility here that's really going to help you out. So saving this does make a lot... Or sorry, a Sova and a Cypher. I don't know why I thought it was the Sage. So I guess Sova will at least give you a little bit of info with the recon. But look, they've not spotted anybody. I think you just save now.
I think a Sage would actually help clearing angles. I mean, you assume people will respect the slow walls and put down the walls as well, which might be very helpful. DPS gets pushed, but nice flick around to be able to really reduce the effectiveness of the flash and find the instant kill onto Fank. But Fank isn't the one with the guns. The other 3 that have picked the weapons, and now they're going to swing wide. Cinder takes on Casper on the exit, and he'll confirm DPS as well. He gets one of the Spectre, upgrades to the Phantom, and takes on the last player alive there for Royals. There's 2G4L, they are going to win in eco. That is a massive round to win, and it all starts in the showers. It all starts, unfortunately, with, I believe it was Russ who misses the opening shot with the operator. I'm pretty sure it was him. He doesn't get that kill. He dies. He forces a res and a wall to be used by Capers. Hype has to throw down a showstopper as well to try and rescue the situation, and they are all pulling each other further and further into the pit. The opening plays now, 2 players picking over towards B ramps. It will be the quick 2v2 contact now. Russ is just trying to find a little bit of an angle through this box. This is unique, by the way. I've not really seen players utilize this before.
And Russ currently on 1 kill, same as the previous map. He's blasted out into the open and taken down. A hell of a slow game for him. That's 10 rounds now with just 1 frag. And you're really on the defensive side especially, you can't have that happening. They even popped a res on... Oh no, they didn't pop a res. They were trying to the previous round, and the wall got broken, of course. This is not the round that Royals wanted. Not the way they wanted to start this one out. Casper, though, doing his best to pull this back. Capes needs to survive, but as he goes down, the ult through. Casper's going to go sky high. Can't help out. He's got 11 health in the back of the site. Very quickly dealt with. It's even a Vandal headshot to finish him off. And so a 2v2 as they go for the TP, the quick rotate to A. But look at DPS. He's already towards the spawn. He can actually possibly get here in time.
I like to see DPS convert this with the Hunter's Fury as well. If he can sort of really spot the plant, he can use one of the charge of the ultimate to check the default of the truck, and he'll do that now, and this should be a kill for sure. No way that Cinder can survive that one, and Fake will be lucky to not get spotted by the third shot from the Hunter's Fury, so he's technically an unknown right now. Royals do not know that he is that close. They can certainly confirm with the peek coming on through, and with both members taking turns peeking, using the blast packs as well for additional damage, they'll be able to come through for the retake and also for the defuse, and Royals will be getting another round.
I don't think Hype was clearing close right. It wouldn't make a lot of sense, really, considering Hunter's Fury had literally just been used there. But it looks like he was trying to clear in towards U-Haul over the box. And instead, because he very shallowly shoulder peeked it, I think he will have spotted him then and went, oh, there's free info.
I think it was a really risky angle by Fake anyway. So, a difficult situation to be sure. I think that 1v2 was always going to be quite hard, and planting default, when you know, by the way, there's a Hunter's Fury, planting default is such a big risk. You need to be creative with your plants versus Hunter's Fury, and it seemed like a situation that was misread by Royals as Russ finally gets the peak he's looking for, and he gets out alive, most importantly.
I think that's also a great shot by DPS. I think it's also down to DPS knowing the timing. He will have realized that they could have planted in towards the showers a second or two, about 2 seconds before they actually started planting. And so from there, probably realized that they were going for the default plants. Obviously, had they have just delayed one in towards the showers plant, delayed it a few seconds, they probably would have gotten away with that pretty cleanly. But very well read by DPS. Great shots connected by him, and even starting out this round, he does the same. Russ turning up on the scoreboard, grabbing a duel with the operator, and putting 2G4L back in their place, as they are quite likely to go down 8-3.
Okay, Russ, you got my attention now. You were kind of just there before, you kind of just existed before, but now you're certainly making some waves on that scoreboard. 3 in this round, and now an impossible round to win. 2G4L trying to make their way up. There's going to be Alexi, who cannot find even a single shot to capers. A flawless collected by Royals. Now, this is an absolutely stellar defense. It didn't look that way to start things out with. It was very competitive. I believe the score was even 2-3 at one point. But now 8 for Royals. Money situation is poor for 2G4L as we head into the final round of the half, and they will be force buying into whatever situation they can find here, whatever they can get here. Will it be 8-4, or are we going to see the 9-3? My money's on the 9-3.
Yeah, the 9-3 definitely seems likely. I'm inclined to agree with you on that one. Did that camera spot DPS? I think it will have been popped just about. The bot misses him on the right, but there you go. Eventually it catches as it comes around the corner, catches the shots, gives away the intention, but DPS misses the shot. You know where Alexi is, but really not a lot should be found from here. Russ, Casper, shutting them absolutely down. One at a time, everybody's finding the kill. There's a hole in the wall. There's a player on the right at U-Haul that they know about, and although Fake finds one, they have so much work to do to get back into this. The breach is super low. Fake on like 10 HP now in a 1v4, and DPS just takes them one at a time. That's an insane half for Royals.
Absolutely. And well played by the operator users as well. Again, Russ had really rough rounds to start with early on, but he finds a triple onto the round we saw before this one. DPS has been consistent with the operator plays throughout the entire defensive half for him, and rewarded in the fact that they will have 9-3 going into their own attack. But is this going to be a defender-sided affair? Is this going to be very similar to what we saw into Haven? Obviously the other way around. Haven was an attacker-sided affair for both ends. And Royals a 9-3 start that they can make into a 13-3 if they can really string together a huge number of rounds. 2G4L looked a little bit lost towards the latter part of that half, and they're going to need to start picking up their paces now, picking up the pieces as well.
Take flight.
There we go. Losing out in the pistol could even cost them the game at that point, because coming back into it, if you take a force buy, I mean, immediately they're very, very close to victory. Russ is the one to open this up as well. That's not what you want. Cinda playing a very passive game. The smoke's blocking him off from actually taking any impactful duels. They know that short is open, so they're not even going to be leaving him unchecked. They'll clear every corner as they come around. He lands a headshot, but that's all. Raze can even be healed up by the Sage, as they didn't take any damage earlier on. And all in all, this is a depressing situation. We talked about that earlier. Knifing the wall is dangerous. You have to shoot it. You have to knife it until it's 1 HP and then shoot it. But they just kept on knifing. That's one way to die.
Or at least, you know, stand at a unique angle where you can knife it and then still be safe. Something, I don't know, maybe knife it with a teammate. Desperate situation though, you can see at 2G4L, they were kind of running out of time to try and get things done. They're certainly running out of members alive there. Red playing getting taken down to showers. Maybe he didn't expect 3 people to peek him, but you can see where his body was. He died in a situation where there was no way he was getting out of there. He was so exposed. He wasn't shoulder peeking clearly, because if he was, he would have died in a far safer location. As I'm sure now we'll find a little bit of action over towards A short. 3 people walking down, and Russ has put this one in the bed. He's put this one into the bin even. As the only player alive now will be Embo, and he'll be giving this one away. 11 on the board for Royals for sure.
Yeah, 2G4L conceded it, which I have to say is a very impressive decision-making set for them. When you come in and yeah, look, Embo doesn't even shoot. It's just not worth it. You literally do 1 damage.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotta be in the face.
Pull out the knife. Just run at him.
Yeah, at this point. Oh, they're coming for it, though. They're giving them the chances. They don't get too close, though. Keep your distance. The thing for 2G4L, this is a team that I've seen single-handedly keep themselves, well, for the most part, the vast majority of these guys are from the Endpoint Battalion lineup, and we saw them win the vast majority of battalion tournaments. And in a lot of games, they could be down. When it was 1st to 13 in battalion, I remember a point, I think, where they were down either 10-2 or 11-1, something like that. And they were literally just like, hey, don't worry about it, boys. We can come back into this. And they did. They won every round and managed to win it 13-11. They literally do not tilt. Like, these guys drink beers on at a 50K major finals. They were drinking beer on the stage of the final match. It was nuts. It's like, it's the craziest thing. And to see the people being so chilled out, because it's something you talk about, like, oh, 2G4L must be under such pressure now. No, I guarantee they're chill, and they're finding kills because of it.
They've opened up this round for sure. This is going to be certainly pretty high in terms of their ability to maybe secure it. The opening couple of picks go their way. In totality, Royals now, they are attempting to make something happen, to make something of it. The opening gambit over towards A-Showers has not borne any fruit for them. 3 members with 1 ultimate available. If they can get into a post-plant situation, the orbital strike would be a very useful tool, but I don't know that they're going to get into a post-plant situation. 45 seconds, they need to just go dark here, stop making any noise, and force 2G4L to maybe rotate some members away from A, or at least get themselves in a position where Royals can maybe go towards B, but I think they're stuck. I think they're committed. And certainly with the fact the DPS is deep into U-balls, they're going for it. Kill.
Oh, they didn't expect Cinda to still be there up on the wall. But even the damage he's done is healed up immediately, with K-Piz putting himself to 100 health in a 2v2 that's quite difficult. You're retaking this with 2 Phantoms at least. There's not an operator in play. The wall goes up, they clear above it. Now they know the players are locked in towards U-Haul. There's the jump peak. They've seen one in the back left. They go for the spam, but no damage done on the back of it. K-Piz relocated immediately, realizing that he would be vulnerable to that kind of attack. Great shot by Russ as Embo falls. They've got to make it work now. Alexi in the 1v2. He has to win it, but they're playing cat and mouse, and the mouse looks to win as Alexi just can't get any side on them, and eventually down goes the orbital strike to confirm the round. Alexi back in there at the last second. He's going for the defuse, but Russ is close by. Alexi can spin all he wants on 16 HP. Russ didn't need to hit the headshot, but he still did. And interestingly, didn't go through the teleporter.
Yeah, I was going to say, Russ unfortunately doesn't get to save the rifle that he picks up out of that. Speaking of not going through the teleporter, I think that was also a position for Alexi to maybe try and save the rifle through the teleporter, knowing that, hey, you baited the orbital strike through. That is very important. That's a major tool taken off the table. Now just play for your life. I mean, you're not going to defuse it. There's a 0% chance you actually win that one. So, 2G4L in a position now where Alexi, who's on the Bucky this time, sorely wishes he actually had a Phantom instead. I'm sure about that. As Royals now on the warpath, 12-3. I talked about 13-3, Mitch. I didn't think it was actually going to happen.
Yeah, you cursed it. That's the problem here. You caster cursed this game.
Or have I
GG4L
blitzed Royals?
Smoke's down.
That's it, perhaps. But I bet 2G4L are going to be sending you some angry messages after this.
I'm used to that, don't worry.
You will not
I can imagine. The world of esports. Oh man, 3v5. It's not going to be easy for 2G4L, and at this point, we're looking pretty likely to hit a third map. I don't even know what it is. Did you catch that? Was it in the chat or?
No,
or
I
did it yet to be
don't
decided?
know. I guess we'll find out. That's fine.
On surprise.
Ambo's going to have to try and stop the plant from coming through. By the way, 2G4L do not know that if the B hit's actually going to come or not. At this point, Royal could actually choose to back out of the situation. Ambo's going to get traded. He's going to get taken down. The orbital strike doesn't even get the trade, actually. That's unfortunate. Red Plant will. The situation is dire for Cinder, who on a Marshall, Mitch. Oh my goodness. I do not envy this man's position. A Marshall to try and retake versus 4. Yeah, this is. I think he'd do better with. I actually think he should have. If she had a sheriff here, I'd feel a lot stronger about his position.
You're not wrong. Honestly, I think his sheriff would be better. As he goes forward, they hear the Marshal. If they don't knife kill him, I think we should ban them from the tournament. But they just spray him. It's a wall bang. It's close enough.
They should have knifed it. They should have all ran at him with a knife. That would have been exceptionally good. 4 players with decent HP versus the guy with the Marshal.